but this is what my dashboard looks like. I'm working on financing one of my businesses for an $80,000 line of credit. So how it starts is I get inside, and getting started, the software explains to me what I'm looking at, what a DSCR is, how it's preset, factors it considers. It's worth the read because it starts to prepare you for what you need to supply it with, and it tells you how the lenders are going to react to your output. So we want to do this in 5 minutes or less. This is not designed to be something that bogs down our day. We're business owners like you. We want instantaneous results, and we want answers to our toughest questions to get simplified by technology. That's why it's there. So we just want to enter our real simple information into the software to determine if we're financeable for my $80,000 credit line, right? So I'm going to put in information that I typically supply to a lender, and this is nothing more than a test analysis. So my business name, I'm in widgets. I've been in 2 years. Now, we talk about credit score. This is my interpretation of my personal score. Why did we put personal instead of business in here? Well, we're going to assume that you're working on your business score and that you are in a position with a company like this LLC where you might have to speak for your financing with your personal credit, and you may even have to guarantee it to start out on a company that's 2 years old. We would want to see by year 3 or 4 that this credit score is irrelevant and it's more of a business score. So what kind of business do I have? I have an LLC. Here's where we get into discussions about institutional lending versus private lenders, right? So who's likely to lend to my company? Well, did my business deliver a net profit for the most recent fiscal year? I've put yes. But if it didn't post a profit, software is going to scream at me. It's going to say a financial institution may not be able to lend to an unprofitable business. Operative words, may not be able to, because we don't know what they'll do exactly depending upon the opportunity you offer to them. But it's likely to be the case. So we fill out these simple things, and then we get into our inputs. All right, so first we want to put in any financing that we have that will remain open. So in the case of my business, I already have an existing credit card that's open. I use it for working capital. My original balance on it was $25,000, which is what they gave me for a line. It's a $20,000 outstanding balance. I know my interest rate, my principal payback is 1% a month. That's my monthly payment that the software computes. So lenders are going to look at this, right? What's on my business credit report? Well, this credit card is. What does my business have out for debt? I'm representing just this credit card. So now what I'd like to do is add new, and I've pre-added new, and what I want is I want a new line of credit for working capital at $80,000 for the amount. Now, you see these little tooltips, they're all over the place in the software. So this is really easy to enter this stuff. You just walk right through this. And let's say the rate's 10% that I expect to be able to get from a bank. So I'm going to confirm this to the software, and then it's going to tell me what have I got, $8,000 line, 10% interest. But I didn't tell the software what my principal payback is yet because I don't know, right? When I go to a lender, every lender is different on business credit lines. I don't know if they want 1 or 2%. I'm going to have to go back in later once I get an approval and edit for accuracy of my dashboard. But for now, I'm communicating with a lender on simple interest only, okay? Because I don't know what they're going to say yet on whether or not I have to pay back principal or at what rate. Next, we move on to our income. I've got a projection for this company from 2019. I haven't done my Schedule C yet, but this is my guess of what it will be. I'm telling the lender I've got about 150 of income, around 75 of expenses, and here's some really cool stuff. These are line items you can add back to your credit profile as a business that helps you qualify. And many of us wouldn't know that, right? We would think, oh, we're only going to qualify in 75,000. But if we depreciated, we use our home, we have some business mileage, we've paid ourselves, all that stuff can get added back in to our additions to net profit to determine what income the lender is actually going to look at, right? You learn some fun stuff as you go through this. Cash flow, income and expenses get analyzed by the software. We start to geek out a little, right? We've got a net profit, we've got our add backs, here's our debt service income, And now we're going to get into the underwriting that the software does, right? Applicable DSCR, what is that? Debt service coverage ratio is a bank formula that they use to determine how much income that you bring in over your monthly principal and interest debt payments. And they want to see 1.5 or more times. If you're in an industry that's a little more sensitive, you may have to change that to be a 2, right? You're going to know what your industry is. If you're in an industry, you can Google it. Different places will tell you, but we've preset the software at 1.5 because it's a great conversation starter. So what happens, gang, when you look at this is a look under the hood. As one CPA put it to us when they looked at this, they said this is a look under the hood of commercial underwriting they hadn't seen before. We showed you 92,500 on this business of net income available for debt service, right? This is what they're going to look at. But then with this coverage ratio, they actually knock us down, right? We're starting to realize why, as business owners, we apply for an $80,000 line and they only give us 40 and we never tell us why, right? This is why they're knocking us down here, because of their coverage ratios and underwriting, and they're only going to use 61 and change of our income to qualify us. Well, let's move on and see what happens. Our analysis results. Our $20,000 credit card is still serviceable. Here's our analysis results here. We're serviceable still, and our new line of credit for $80,000 carries a payment without principal of $660. We do have a coverage ratio that works. We've got some residual cash flow. Again, we're geeking out here, but what we're worried about is right here. Yes, this is serviceable for our company. So here's some combined performance numbers, and here's what happens as the owner of this business. If we take this credit line, we've got around $12,198 worth of debt service per year. Sanity check time. Do we want to do this? Well, if we need that 80,000, we might not have a choice, but we could go back in and say, I don't want my payment that high. It's around 1,000 a month. Maybe I want to do 60,000 instead. And this is how we structure our loan request as we go to the lender. So the last piece we need is our leverage report. This is the only piece of paper we're going to show the lender at the start of our conversation. The lender's going to get our name, address, our business up top. They can consume this information from us in 1 minute or less. They understand what DSCR is. They understand that a 7.58 is really good. It qualifies for that line of credit. We give them a cash flow summary from the software. We give them little details on what we have out for existing debt, what our new debt is. We can print this and download and print and share with our lender, or we can move on to Leverage Connect, which inside our software connects us with lenders. And all we have to do is put in our information and zip, we send this through to lenders, and in 24 hours or less, we're going to get an answer back if this is something that is doable by a lender. So now you see it, right? Now you see why we get so excited about this, because this changes the conversation that we all normally have. If anybody's on the call today who has taken commercial financing, you're sitting there going, wow, I wish I had this when I went for it the last time. And you're absolutely right. And you use it the next time, and it changes the whole conversation. All we recommend any business owner do is take this one piece of paper, and you can download, print, and share, like I said, many ways with your existing lender, or you can connect inside of Leverage Connect with a lender. Either way, it's real easy. It's as simple as, I've invested in third-party software that pre-qualifies me for the credit line that I'm looking for, says I'm a go. Would you like to continue the conversation with me?